Our relationship with God is daily. It is bread. Sometimes it's cake. Sometimes it's sourdough bread and it's tough. You won't always be on fire for God. Stepping into the Christian faith and being new in the Christian faith, you will get this sense of fire, and it's like emotional buildup. It's those emotional moments. Typically, it's happened at a conference, a convention, a church service, worship service, where you feel such a fire and a burn for Christ. But what we seem to forget is that feelings fade. You won't always burn with the same emotional fire you once had. I remember when I first started my walk with Christ, I was so on fire for him. It's insane. I was studying theology like crazy. I was learning my Bible backwards and forwards. I read that thing all the way through. I was so excited to know God and to see God and to understand God. And I was so passionate and on fire for him. I then used my talents and my overflow of love and excitement and study and just this overpour of emotion and revelation. And I used it, of course, in the capacity like I use it here, or with speaking, serving, and in that aspect. And so the more that I used it and the more responsibility I had to use it, the less I was pouring into myself. And transparently, it got to the point where I no longer had fire for God. I was so burnt out and overpoured that I couldn't speak. I couldn't formulate like sermons or lessons, and I couldn't ignite it. So what did I do? Stepped away from it. Crazy thing for somebody like me to do, but I did. I stepped away from it in hopes that maybe if I stepped away and came back, that fire would reignite. Because here's the thing. I was chasing a feeling. I was chasing an emotion. Excitement. I was chasing a high, a fire, when that's not what God promised. He did not say when I open this Bible that every single time I'm going to want to open it. He did not say when I open this Bible and sit with him to learn, I'm going to want to do it every single time. He didn't say when I sit and pray with him that I'm going to be on fire to do it every single time. Something I think a lot of when I think of this is the Psalms in general and David crying out to the Lord with all of his emotions. I mean, he was not keeping his emotions back from God. He was not tiptoeing around him. He was like, God, this is how I feel, and I don't like it. And I need you to know that. But yet I am grateful. And I think that's so beautiful that David gave us this real and raw emotional look at what it looks like to be a Christian, to be a true Christ follower. So many of us have this wrong idea. We think that, like I said, I'm opening that Bible and I'm catching that fire. I'm opening that Bible and I am ready to go and I'm understanding every single thing. And you know what? Even if life gets me down, I'm going to be happy about it. Nobody said that. Nobody said that would happen. Yeah, we're called to be joyous in times of sorrow, but that doesn't mean we have to be happy about the situation. Yes, we're called to love and want to be in a relationship with God, but that doesn't mean we can't be upset with him. That doesn't mean that we can't have burnout. That doesn't mean that our human emotions won't take over. And so I'm saying this to say, if you have been lost, if you have been running from God, if you have been moving away from him because you don't have that fire anymore, you don't feel it under your feet, and you've been feeding into the world, you care more about your looks or your clothes, social media platforms, or your brand than you care about your relationship with God, if you're putting all of that above him and you've been getting that nudge to come home, I am telling you today, right now, to come home. Because I'm telling you guys, as soon as I came home, I'm not saying it wasn't rough. I'm not saying that God wasn't like, why'd you run? I'm not saying that God wasn't like, when you ran, you could have been doing X, Y, and Z. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that once I came home, the peace and love and joy I felt was none other. Our relationships with God cannot be based on emotion. Things that happen that make us come to God and have this big revelation and this fire. Our relationship with God is daily. It is bread. Sometimes it's cake. Sometimes it's sourdough bread and it's tough. But our relationships with God are so important. And I just want to call you today to your Bible right now. Get in the Psalms. If you've been off on your own, away from the Lord, get in the Psalms, start talking to the Lord, use those Psalms to cry out to God and say, God, I am upset, but I am sorry. And I love you so much. And I'm sorry I based my relationship on an emotion or a feeling, because I'm telling you guys, as soon as you come back home, the joy and the love that you feel is like none other.